Okay, here we are. Decided to do another little reaction vid to a new death battle. But here, to the Gurren Lagann versus White Lantern. Now, I don't have a lot of knowledge about either character, but based off my zero knowledge of either character, I want to vote for Gurren Lagann to win, so let's just get right into it. See how this goes. It looks good.
Simone the Digger.
Kyle
Simone,
Rayner, the
that's
White
Simon?
Lantern.
Two men born of Earth with the willpower to pierce the heavens and conquer infinity.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And
That's
it's our job
good.
to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Oh boy, this is gonna be crazy.
Deep underground, Jiha Village lived in dreary isolation, oblivious to the wider world above their
I remember watching
squalid
the
caves.
first episode of
That's where
Gurren
the
Lagann,
hero
but
of our
I wasn't
story
really into
comes in.
mecha
The
shows
young
back
man
then.
who would lead his comrades into the sunlight at last. Kamina, the great and mighty. Oh, and his little brother from another mother, Simone. He was there too, I guess.
Simon was a digger,
So it's really
content to
Simon,
drill
not
endlessly
Simon?
through the dirt, until the day he found the
Yes.
core drill.
A key that activated the mysterious buried mech that Kamina named Lagann. Under his magnificently masculine leadership, Kamina finally drilled their way to freedom, seeing the sun after a life in the dark.
But the sky was by no means the limit. The surface was ruled by the cruel chimeric beastmen, and Kamina would lead his compatriots against them to reclaim the Earth for humanity, scoring a second mech in the process, aptly named Gurren.
And as befits Kamina and Simone's unbreakable brotherly bond, Gurren and
I know
Lagann
Yoko was like a
merged, creating
fan
Gurren
favorite waifu for the
Lagann.
longest
With
time back
Kamina
then.
piloting the body and Simone the head, these two were unstoppable.
Of all the giant fighting robots in all the animes across history, Gurren Lagann might just be the absolute coolest, fueled by its pilot's willpower.
I don't know,
and
Witcher
capable of
Mercury
making
was pretty
any
cool.
weapon they can imagine.
Including missiles, a jetpack, a sunglasses boomerang, and of course,
Drills! Wrist-mounted drills, kunai drills, shield drills, kamehameha drills, and everyone's favorite, the Giga Drill Bureku! Side note, it is so funny that the only thing they could think of was drills. That's like if I made booze or something, my whole
See, buddy.
personality. What up?
with Gurren Lagann's awesome power, Kamina laid waste to enemy forces, liberated human villages, and fomented a rebellion against the Beastmen King, Lord Genome.
Until Kamina died. Oh, wait, shit, was that supposed to happen?
Nope, and it was all Simone's fault. He let his willpower waver, and his soul brother paid the price. After all,
Oh, damn.
he was just a humble digger, at home in the darkness, guided solely by the light of Kamina's spirit.
So his big bro left him with these final words. Have faith in the Simone who believes in you. Damn.
Kamina was the one looking up to him the whole
Yikes.
time. It was
Rough.
Simone who found Lagann, Simone who pierced the surface, and Simone who would now lead humanity to victory.
Especially with his gal pal Nia at his side, who helped pull him out of his rut and kick Lord Genome's ass. But victory only lasted 7 years before the anti-spiral attacked.
Unimaginably powerful godlike aliens,
Oh my.
the Anti-Spiral feared humanity's potential, what they dubbed the Spiral Nemesis.
Remember how Gurren Lagann runs on fighting spirit? Turns out that's just a manifestation of spiral power, an energy that all spiral beings, like humans, have. That's right, the laws of physics run on chutzpah.
Just as the spiral turned
Okay.
inward represents endless obsession and madness,
Oh my.
the spiral turned outward spins forever into infinity, the perfect representation of humanity's evolutionary potential.
Potential Simone would use as he led Team Dai Gurren across the multiverse to take the fight
Gosh,
to
Shogo's
the
outfit, Jesus.
anti-spiral. And this is when Gurren Lagann gets crazy.
Channeling spiral power lets you constantly adapt to threats, no matter how overwhelming. Simone can create portals to different realities and higher dimensions. He can generate force fields, absorb energy attacks, and even merge Gurren Lagann with bigger and stronger machines.
Creating the Arc Gurren Lagann, which
that
is
name,
strong enough
Super
to shatter
Tengen Toppa
space
Gurren
and
Lagann?
time with a punch.
Or the Super Galaxy Gurren Lagann, which can fire lasers that are fast enough to hit, and I quote, all time, space, and dimensions, all within
Sure.
a Planck instant.
That's the smallest unit of time physically possible.
Meaning each laser would have to be moving
Oh boy.
4.6 times 10 to the 117th power times faster than light. Oh, Well, looks like this wins the award for fastest calculated speed feat in our show's history.
Sorry, SpongeBob.
Congratulations, Gurren Lagann.
Move over, SpongeBob. You've been dethroned. Oh, and the guidebook says they hit an innumerable number of enemies across infinite universes. You literally cannot calculate how fast that is.
But it wasn't enough to escape the Anti-Spiral's greatest trap, the Multiverse Labyrinth, an attack that imprisons Simon in his own unique multiverse, forced to experience an
His
infinite
own
number of alternate
multiverse?
realities that controlled his mind, permanently arresting him in a dream world.
Except Simon and his spiral power are just built different. And after being inspired by his bro, Simon absorbed that whole multiverse to escape.
What makes this even more impressive is that this labyrinth was 11-dimensional, meaning Simon absorbed a higher dimensional structure several orders of infinity greater than himself. The jump between dimensions
Sure, that
is
makes sense.
basically infinite. Each new dimension adds a new direction of space that extends infinitely, thus an infinite gap in size and scope.
What?
Oh, we're just getting started.
Words,
Imagine
yeah.
a two-dimensional drawing interacting with a three-dimensional person.
Okay. That's not too far off from what actually happened.
Because when Simon absorbed the multiverse labyrinth, he merged with every alternate universe version of himself, including an alternate universe Simon who is writing his own alternate universe version of Gurren Lagann. And that author's spiral power made his fictional Simon real, adding another to the mix.
Wait,
What?
every human being has spiral power. You're telling me we can all do this shit?
This all gave our Simone enough spiral power to form the next step in mecha evolution, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
This is when Gurren Lagann gets actually fucking crazy. Like shooting missiles that alter probability so they have a 100% chance of hitting you, or tossing
What?
galaxies around like frisbees. Sorry, did I say galaxies? I meant universes.
Simon's power
Sure.
was so immense that he started generating super spiral space, a higher dimension encompassing our own universe.
With it, Simon turns his thoughts into reality, letting him create his mech and all of its weapons in the first place.
Not only does this mean he no longer needs co-pilots, he can also regenerate any damage done to him or his mech just by willing it back into existence.
Like when Lord Genome used spiral power to survive quantum breakdown, or the time Nia, now the best wife in the universe, used spiral power to constantly regenerate her body from being erased at the informational level for
Yikes.
7 days straight.
Information
Man.
in physics is essentially
a good
the
wife.
ones and zeros that make up every possible outcome in reality. Nia literally regenerated from the statistical certainty of her own destruction.
If I have spiral power, Wiz, when the fuck is my leg growing back?
When even this was not enough for the anti-spiral, Simon evolved one more time.
Into Super Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann!
This mech is so big, its size is literally incalculable. And with a drill somehow even larger than that, Simon and his friends shattered the anti-spiral once and for all.
Hey, cruel
Okay.
indifference of the universe! Meet the indomitable human spirit!
Proving Kamina's words prophetic, that Simon's drill is the drill that would pierce the heavens.
With no more worlds left to conquer, Simon chose to wander the earth for the rest of his days, in service to others.
Always looking up, for all the lights in the sky are stars, and every star another world of spiral cousins that can live free.
All thanks to a humble digger.
Maybe I will have to watch Gurren Lagann. That sounds absolutely batshit
The
crazy.
universe is a dangerous place. Should you find yourself face to face with an interdimensional vampire, alien dictators, or this one really pissed off cat, you know who to call.
The Green Lantern Corps! They're the Space Fuzz, an intergalactic police force founded billions of years ago by blue leprechaun gods.
And the greatest Green Lantern among them was everyone's favorite, Hal Jordan.
You know him, you love him, you might hate him, but you gotta respect
So
the
they
man
know.
with a
They
will
recognize
as
that.
unbreakable as hell.
I was also very
Until
upset
the
with that
day
ending.
his will broke.
After his hometown got completely obliterated, Hal lost his mind. He rampaged through the core, killing everyone in his path, and absorbed the central power battery, the literal Green Lantern.
Becoming the Emerald Tyrant, Parallax.
There was only one survivor of Parallax's killing spree, Ganthet. And with what remained of his strength, he gave the last Green Lantern ring in the universe to a human, Kyle Rayner.
So, was Kyle picked for his indomitable willpower like Hal was?
He was just there. He had no idea what was going on. Must feel good being given the most dangerous magical weapon in existence to figure out on your own. Hey, if Colonel Sanders, Daffy Duck, Space Wheat, and a sentient fox can master it, what's your excuse, Kyle?
The Green Lantern ring can do anything, fulfilling any wish its user desires as though it were a genie
Really,
from
I
a
didn't think of
lamp.
the ring,
It
huh?
lets you fire energy blasts, create force fields, affect gravity, turn invisible and intangible, manipulate matter, time travel, warp reality, and erase things from existence.
Think we're exaggerating? Well, consider the time Kyle stretched the very fabric of space to increase the Planck length a billion times over. That's like stretching an inch into a light year.
Planck length.
Lanterns
Uh-oh.
control time and space, letting them fly so fast they can create a Speed Force singularity.
Tapping into the Speed Force requires entering a higher dimension of space, requiring speeds that are not only faster than light, but totally immeasurable. And the rings have an artificial intelligence that operates just as fast, automatically protecting its user from danger.
Like
Oh,
the
boy,
time that
sounds like we're gonna
Boozer
get an RTC
Kilowog
win.
survived being erased from existence by the crisis on Infinite Earth.
The ring is fueled by its user's willpower and limited only by their imagination.
While Hal may have had the greatest willpower in the Corps, Kyle's imagination is unmatched, probably because he's a comic book artist. And we know from this show, they think of some wild shit.
But the Green Lantern's most
Not Golden Age,
recognizable
huh?
ability is their constructs, Kyle's speciality.
Samurai armor, pirate ships, giant dragons, actual working home computers, and his favorite, super fighting robots. Hey, that one looks familiar.
Kyle can make them strong enough to lift the Spectre, who weighs as much as eternity.
Or hold back a 12.3 dimensional Big Bang. Wait, 0.3? DC's multiverse has 12.3 dimensions? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
What the heck is
ring's
a
only
0.3
downside
dimension
is that
supposed to
it's
be?
limited to 24 hours before needing a recharge.
So it can blow up universes, but it has the battery of an iPhone. Never mind, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Although I'd say Kyle's biggest weakness
DC
was
has a tendency to go
Kyle.
with the stupid.
With great power came no responsibility.
Perhaps a manifestation of Kyle's self-doubt. Any reflection came too late, though, when one of Kyle's villains brutally murdered his girlfriend, Alex, and put her body in a fridge.
Kyle wasn't the only one traumatized. This moment was so infamous, it started the trope called fridging.
For how female characters are often sacrificed as mere plot devices to further a male character's development.
So it might surprise you that it happened to Kyle again.
Kyle finally got serious. He became a prominent member of the Justice League, faced off against Hal, and even rebuilt the Green Lantern Corps better than ever.
But little did he know, this torchbearer's greatest journey had only just begun.
In order to save Ganthet
haven't even
from
talked
an
about the White Lantern part of
emotional
this.
lobotomy, it's a long story, he had to master all the colors of the emotional electromagnetic spectrum.
There are 7 colors, each representing a different emotion. The yellow light of fear lets Kyle manipulate the worst horrors in your mind. The more scared you are of him, the stronger he becomes.
Orange light is fueled by bottomless avarice, possessing Kyle to absorb not merely his enemies' attacks, but also their souls.
Red is rage, ripping out Kyle's heart and replacing his blood with napalm.
Okay.
Which sounds like it sucks, but it's metal as hell.
Blue light is powered by hope and allows Kyle to heal wounds, resist mental domination, and supercharge his ring.
Indigo is compassion, reducing his opponent's will to fight and letting him open portals across space.
This is definitely gonna be an
connecting him
RTC
to
win.
others.
The final
Yeah.
one was the Sapphire Light of Love. With it, he can trap enemies within crystal matrices and control their minds. But Kyle only mastered it by forgiving himself for Alex's tragic death.
Oh, self-love. I get it. Must be nice. And with their powers combined, he doesn't just make his enemies taste the rainbow.
The lights of the spectrum merged, and Kyle became a White Lantern, with total control over the power of life.
Wiz, I cannot think of an attack more useless in a death battle than something that makes you live.
Empowered by the physical embodiment of all life in the DC multiverse, Kyle is vastly more powerful than any other Lantern in existence.
Far stronger than Hal, who could harness the energy of every power battery across the multiverse.
Not only can Kyle instantly heal all wounds, purify corruption, and resurrect the dead, The white light of life is strong enough to go up against threats to all of creation, like the Anti-Monitor.
Okay, so it's not totally useless.
Especially after Kyle visited the source and acquired the life equation, essentially the source code to
So there's an
reality.
anti-life
The
and a life
is
equation,
mathematical proof that life is worth living.
With it, Kyle can alter all of reality at a whim, even threatening the new gods like Darkseid.
The life equation, like its counterpart, the anti-life equation, is a conceptual artifact from a higher reality, originating in a platonic realm that is, in a sense, more real than we are.
So it's not a shock that
Sure.
the equation made
Whatever.
Kyle too powerful.
He struggled to control it, and it subconsciously manifested a being composed of his fears and anxieties. Oblivion. Kyle's greatest weakness was still himself.
Kyle spent his whole
So
life
maybe a
struggling
Black
with the
Lantern, I
power that
guess?
the gods granted him, and throughout it all, he always rose to the occasion, carrying the universe on his back.
But ultimately, the only way to stop power from corrupting is to spread it. So Kyle split the life equation into pieces to found his second core, the White Lanterns. And together, they shattered Oblivion, destroying the self-doubt that plagued Kyle once and for all.
Not bad for a comic book geek from LA.
And now he was the one giving out rings of unlimited power to people who weren't sure if they could command it.
So he
Sheesh.
told them the truth. You can't teach someone how to use such power. You have to learn yourself, making mistakes along the way.
But with the power of life at their command, there's no end to their journey, only endless beginnings.
I want Gurren Lagann to win.
Hey, remember Beerus versus Sailor Galaxia? No?
Yeah, that was a cool
that's
one.
because it was taken off YouTube for being too anime. But
What?
we've got a solution. It's our own website. That's
didn't know that. It's gone?
www.deathbattle.gg. It's like our own private Patreon, with a store for Death Battle merch and a complete Death Battle video archive. It's got episodes that YouTube has banned, blocked, and censored, and there's even more goodies on the way. So check out
download
deathbattle.gg
YouTube. What the heck?
live right now.
Come on, Gurren Lagann.
All right, the combatants are set, and
I'll
we've
call
run the data
Simon
through
if you
all
win.
possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Believe in the drills. Believe in the drills.
All right, I'm not rusty at all.
Hey dude, Green Lantern Officer Kyle Rayner here. Ring says you've got a Class A galactic super weapon, whatever that is. I'm thinking it's the giant mech. Why don't you hand it over?
Gurren Lagann's
the same
mine,
setup, huh?
officer. Just who the hell do you think you are?
Come on, Simon.
I'm told I'm bad with authority.
Tell me about it. 4!
4? That's nothing! My drill will pierce the heavens!
Oh, you got this time. Simon, come on.
Take it to Gurren Lagann!
Oh, already, huh?
That's really cool.
It is cool, but come on, you gotta beat him. You gotta beat him.
We do the impossible.
See the invisible.
Touch the untouchable.
Break the unbreakable.
If you ain't know,
Now you know!
God, it's just a cool line. Come on.
I'm Simone the Digger! If there's a wall in my way, I'll smash it down!
Oh, man. God, this music too. Oh.
Stop fighting. Think about your fear of death, your love of your friends, your compassion for me, your hope for the future. Choose life.
Have faith in the Simon
Come
that
on.
believes in you.
Come on. Yes! Come on, man! Go, 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 go!
Super Tekken Topa Gurren Lagann!
Oh my god.
Drill that will transcend the heavens! Giga Drill Break!
What am I looking at? This is so awesome! Come on, you can't lose against his drills!
The super weapon wasn't your mech.
It was me.
Then, Simone, I'm taking you in. In brightest day, in blackest night.
Come on.
No evil shall escape my sight.
No!
Let those who worship evil's
Come on.
might beware my power. Green Lantern Fly!
Simone! Come on! Simone! Yes!
You grit those teeth!
Yeah! Ah.
You'd make a good lantern.
Simon of Earth, you have been chosen.
Just who the hell do you think I am?
Oh my god, that was incredible!
With the snazzy sunglasses!
When both combatants possess unlimited power, it's hard to judge them by our normal standards. Take speed. Simone can hit an infinite number of targets all at once, and Kyle can fly fast enough to surpass the normal concept of speed itself.
When you control space and time, things like strength and speed kind of become irrelevant.
Instead, let's analyze them through a lens more applicable to beings as absurd as Simone and Kyle. Their imagination,
Simone was just cooler.
their willpower, and their ultimate potential.
First up, imagination. The boundless things they could conjure to use against the other. Both could think up just about anything the other could, like absorbing each other's attacks, fighting across time, anything.
Simone did have a few attacks that Kyle hasn't encountered, like the probability-altering missiles, but it's likely Kyle could adapt considering his ring could protect against existence being erased across the multiverse.
And in general, Kyle's constructs were a lot more creative than Simone's arsenal, which was
Yeah.
mostly drills. Though again, nothing Simone
Drills are
couldn't
strong.
adapt to with, say, his energy absorption. Imagination is a draw.
That leaves the other main factor for both characters, the origin of their unbelievable might, their willpower.
And that's really gonna be the winning factor here, since it's the source of everything for both
God,
of
that
them.
was such
Whoever's got
incredible.
the stronger willpower wins.
Both can manipulate reality on a multiversal scale with their willpower, but we can use dimensions to roughly calculate a difference. This might sound absurd for most characters, but it's necessary for beings as beyond the pale as Simone and Kyle.
The multiverse labyrinth that Simone absorbed contained 11 spatial dimensions. That's 1.3 dimensions less than the multiverse Kyle's power can threaten.
And remember, each numbered dimension infinitely surpasses the one below it.
Which meant Kyle's willpower was stronger at a base level. However, that doesn't necessarily mean Kyle gets the edge, because if
I
there's
don't
one
understand
thing
anything
both
what
of
they're
these
saying,
guys
but
are known
sure,
for,
yeah.
it's that they
Dimension,
can
the
always
powers,
get stronger.
imagination,
So to
sure.
determine the limits of
Sounds
their
cool, so
willpower,
let
we
it
first
happen,
need
I
to
guess.
understand their full potential.
Simone's whole deal with spiral power is how he can constantly evolve to get stronger. So just because Simone starts off weaker doesn't mean he'll stay that way.
Absorbing the multiverse labyrinth required Simone to leapfrog several orders of infinity in an instant. Simone made himself that much stronger through sheer force of will.
More than enough to
And he's
close
got a
the
badass
gap
wife,
with
too.
Kyle. Especially since spiral power also lets him regenerate his body down to an informational level. Kyle's never destroyed something that thoroughly before.
Without the ability to easily kill Simone, it was only a matter of time before Kyle's ring ran low on charge. Especially since Simone could likely regenerate for at least a week straight, like Nia did. While Blue Lantern Light could boost Kyle's power, he's never jumped several orders of infinity in strength like Simone has.
And while Kyle could manipulate emotions to reduce Simone's willpower, Simone resisting the labyrinth's mental manipulation meant he could power through anything Kyle threw at
Yeah, I
him.
think I'm gonna have to watch
Everything,
Gurren
that is,
Lagann.
except for the life equation.
I
It
definitely have to
originated
watch
from a
after
higher
this.
level of reality and would have more than even the odds.
Too bad Kyle couldn't control it. It was just as much a detriment to him as an asset, forcing him to relinquish it to keep from destroying reality and himself.
Compare that to Simone, who merged with a version of himself writing a version of Gurren Lagann, and using spiral power to make that fiction into reality.
A pretty similar level of reality to the life equation, and a level of power Simone had no trouble embracing and mastering by the end of his story. No matter how you look at
think
it,
this has gotta be,
Simone
like,
might
their, like,
start
biggest
weaker,
just
but his peak
powerhouses
will
ever.
always transcend Kyle's.
Like,
Isn't
Jesus.
that how all of Simone's battles usually go anyway? That's Gurren Lagann in a nutshell.
So Simone's incredible potential eclipsed Kyle, which means his willpower was ultimately greater. Kyle may have embodied life itself, but Simone's unstoppable evolutionary potential would shatter even this lantern's light.
I hope Kyle at least dug the fight, because when it comes to Death Battle losers, he was a dead ringer.
The winner is Simone the Digger.
God damn, that was
Next time
so
on
crazy.
Death Battle.
What we got next time? Really now? Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote plus Tom and Jerry, huh?
Subscribe and join as a member to see
Or just
more
Coyote
Death
and Tom.
Battle. Thanks for watching.
Another cartoon battle. That sounds fun. But yeah, what an absolutely crazy fight. Jesus, just... Oh my god. I had no idea Gurren Lagann was just that crazy. Like, I've seen like some bits here and there, but I had no idea, like, just the full depth of it. Like, none of it makes sense. That much is more than obvious. But, Jesus Christ, that was just absolutely incredible work. And the next battle, too, seems like it's gonna be a much more fun one, Wile E. Coyote vs. Tom. I'm sure that'll be a fun one. God, that was so good. And of course, the music never fails. Music never disappoints either. Like, out of all their characters that they've had on this show so far, is there really, like, anyone stronger than this? Like, multiverses on, like, infinite multiverses on top of each other and absorbing all in an instance? Like, what does all this, like, even mean? Like, how can I, like, hope to match up against that? Like, when you add infinity to infinity, that's just infinity plus. Like, how do you calculate infinity over infinity? One infinity over the other infinity. Doesn't make any sense, but God, is it awesome. I love... And yeah, I'll definitely be keeping this one. God, that was... Jesus Christ, so incredibly good.